You're not hauling lumber. You're driving to your 9 to 5 at the insurance firm. So let's get a more sensible vehicle.
Let's get a more sensible vehicle. Buy a Honda. Hondas never die.
Dave's Toyota down the street, I heard, is great.
Turns out Mason's a dealer at Dave's Toyota. I'm kidding. Mason's not a car dealer. I wouldn't be friends with him if he was a car dealer.
If you're looking for a reasonably priced Camry, come on down to Dave's Toyota. Ask for Mason. I'll personally help.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pacific Standard, guys. My name is Carter Briggs, and with me, as always, are my two fellow hosts, Abel Stoika.
Hello, everybody.
And Mason Winter.
Hello.
This week is a fun week, because next week, the new Looney Tunes movie comes out, so we decided to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Which is not a Looney Tunes movie.
Not a Looney Tunes movie. But it has
Looney Tunes characters in it.
It has Bugs Bunny in it for a minute, and Daffy Duck. Daffy Duck and Donald Duck have a piano off. Who wants to say what the fuck happened in Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Who did frame Roger Rabbit?
Well, it was this one guy.
You want to start at the start? You want to start at the beginning?
Yeah, this is an alternate reality where cartoons are real, but they're people in society who are they're toons. They're like another class of citizens almost that you can be racist towards, as our primary protagonist character is.
Hey gang, don't worry, we'll get into that during Carter's theme corner. All right, we're gonna get into it.
We're going to the theme corner today. Yeah, so the main guy's this private investigator, has to privately investigate this toon's wife, Jessica Rabbit, who was playing patty cake with
the CEO of Acme.
Yeah, the CEO of Acme.
Who owns Toontown for some reason.
And then he gets that, makes Roger Rabbit look like, and then like the next morning the CEO is dead. So it looks like Roger Rabbit killed him. And then he has to figure out why, ends up finding out that he didn't, and then working with Roger Rabbit to hide him from this other guy, played by Christopher Lloyd.
The judge.
Who is trying to kill him. And then they go to Toontown. All hell breaks loose. And there's a bunch of weird shit that happens that's really cool and inventive filmmaking. The bad guy loses and the good guys win and everything's okay. And that's how the movie goes.
Yep.
Yeah, Robert Zemeckis directed this. I totally forgot that it was him who directed this. What an interesting filmmaker. Like, he's either like, he's always trying to pioneer, but for the last like 2 decades, he's been trying to pioneer a thing that everybody hates. He doesn't really have like a distinct style to him, but he's always like doing weird stuff.
He does now. Now he does the soulless. For the listeners, he's the one who does all those soulless Polar Express types, the mocap ones.
Yeah.
So now he kind of has a style. I think it was the Christmas Carol one with Jim Carrey.
Oh, he did do that.
Yep.
And then he did the Beowulf movie, which I never saw.
Nope. He also did. I'm also 99% sure he did Mars Needs Moms.
He did not direct that one. He might have been a producer. He's one of those guys who's always like a producer on a bunch of stuff, and movies really want you to know that he's a producer on it. But he did like Forrest Gump and the Back to the Future movies.
Yep. Yeah,
a lot of cool stuff, a lot of weird stuff that's kind of coasting off of the success of his previous projects. He did that movie, The Walk. I remember seeing that in theaters, where it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt walking on a tightrope across the Twin Towers.
That's
based
right.
on a true story.
That's right.
That was pretty good.
That's a good movie. This movie, the one we're talking about, Robert Zemeckis' movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
Is fucking great. It's such a good movie. It's really fucking funny. It's got a really great theme, which you know I love. It introduces a world in which LA doesn't become a traffic-ridden hellhole, which we covered. we will cover in
we'll talk about that.
Carter's Theme Corner. As not to dox myself, as an LA resident, the lines where they talked about how easy it is to get around LA are fucking hilarious. They made me laugh way too hard. We should also say for anybody
so critical of car culture. Like
it's so good. No, that's what's great about it. But also, for anybody who doesn't know, this is a period piece. It's set in the 40s, right?
Yeah, like late 40s.
Just after World War II. And Bob Hoskins is a private eye. He used to do it with his brother, but a tune killed his brother. And so now he's a full-blown alcoholic. And when you watch this as a kid, you really don't understand how much of an alcoholic he is. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. His big hero moment in this movie, Mason, correct me if I'm wrong. His big hero moment in this movie is when he chooses not to drink whiskey on his way to work.
When he chooses to toss the bottle.
Also in that hero moment, he gets a gun. He pulls out like a tune gun that he fires like once, and then he's like, "This is a piece of shit."
I feel like it's brought up multiple times, the fate of his brother.
Yes.
And each time it's brought up in a similar fashion, in that the characters are like, his brother was killed by a tune, dropped a piano on his head. And it's always like a pause before the piano on the head, and you're like, wait a minute, what? But then,
yeah,
the opening scene of the movie, or not the opening scene, but shortly into the movie, we see a safe dropped on.
Yeah, it's what kills the Acme guy, CEO of Acme.
Yeah, the CEO of Acme is killed by a safe falling on him. The crux of this movie is that tunes are like a different species. They're like a different type of person, and they can survive anything except the judge character played by Christopher Lloyd, who is the judge in Toontown, has developed, what does he call it? The dip, which is basically paint thinner, which is super clever, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I loved that. I wrote that as a note.
If you put a tune in the dip, they die. Like, they die. Like, tunes, there's some tunes that quote-unquote die in the fact that they become angels, right? But this, like, fully dissolves them. So,
in order to explain how tunes can behave like they normally do in cartoons, but in real life, where they're, taking 60-story falls and getting run over and appearing like they're fine, you have to have some way to kill them, and that is the dip. This man's concocted. Yes.
I do also like that they enact a rule for why the tunes can't just do anything at any time. Right? It's kind of a throwaway line, but Roger Rabbit says it when he gets out of the handcuffs. They can only do these crazy things, like these god power type things, when it's funny. Like that's the rule of the universe. There's a whole portion of this movie where Roger Rabbit and Bob Hoskins, the PI, are handcuffed together, and they're running around the city trying to get these handcuffs off. And the second they're finally able to start getting them off, Roger Rabbit slips his wrist out, and Bob Hoskins starts to throttle him. And he's like, "Why didn't you do that before?" And Roger Rabbit's like, "Because it wouldn't have been funny. This was funny." And all of the tunes, it's so matter of fact. The thing these tunes live off of is making people laugh. And I personally think that's great. I think it's the perfect way to have these like characters interact in like a live action world. I think it's the big reason this movie is a lot better than like Space Jam or Back in Action is that the tunes aren't just like actors. This is what they want to be funny.
Yeah.
That's their main goal and purpose in life, which is their main goal and purpose in our world. That's why they're drawn. That's why they're written. That's why people make cartoons.
We'd be remiss not to mention, however, the execution of the actual blending of cartoons and people. Because we saw how Back in Action did it. I think debatably, I don't think it's actually debatable. I think Who Framed Roger Rabbit does it way better. And they came out, 20 plus years previous?
10.
I think it was like 15 to 20 years beforehand.
Really? 15 to 20?
Okay, because when was Back in Action? Because
it was like 2003.
And then this was what? It was the 90s,
88?
right? Oh, 88? Fuck, you guys are right. Holy shit. No, this does it much better. You
Way
can
better.
totally you can totally notice it. I really like Back in Action, as everybody heard. At no point during Back in Action are you like, well, they're interacting with these characters. The whole time you're like, there's Bugs Bunny and he's interacting with Brendan Fraser. This whole movie, I at least like in terms of, I don't believe that cartoons really exist, but in terms of the movie, I totally bought that this is a world where cartoons aren't drawn. You hire a guy from Toontown and you film him doing wacky shit.
Yeah, I think that there's like a lot of examples of like during the action scenes where like a cartoon will get thrown into a physical chair and the chair will like break apart or whatever. They feel like physical things that inhabit a real world with like real weight behind their like motions, even though their motions are completely unrealistic. Like I have no idea how they filmed some of the stuff that they were doing. Like I think that's kind of that Steven Spielberg like style or Steven Spielberg-esque like movie magic where it's like I'm really like just immersed into the filmmaking. It's just really, it was really impressive to watch, and then eventually it just kind of became my reality for a little bit. And I think that's a really good highlight in a movie like this, is that it can do that and just really suck you in.
I definitely want to consider the fact that, at least because we're breaking these movies down and reviewing them, that I was looking at it with a more careful eye than like a casual viewer would. And even then I couldn't notice certain like switches or certain tricks they did, like Herman the baby with his cigar. When he gets like pushed down the hallway and it gets knocked out of his hand, they switch it to a practical one because it like lands on the ground and rolls around. And I was trying to like look at it and I was like, I can't even tell where they switch it.
No, it's perfect. It's so well edited. It's the animation in it is so great. It's pretty fucking seamless, especially for all the wacky shit. That the only time that I was like, oh, that's a green screen is when Bob Hoskins is falling through like 100 stories in Toontown.
Yeah, that looked not great.
But also, that's the only part is when they had to make Bob Hoskins fly with Mickey and Bugs Bunny in 1988. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. I thought that it was a cool idea to try and show the perspective of those Toon effects while he was in Toontown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was a lot of fun.
It was hard, but
Toontown is great. The whole sequence in Toontown, I think, is great, even though it's the most ambitious. So obviously, it's going to be the most noticeable effects. You know?
Yeah.
I think the slapstick comedy combined with the novelty of having like a real person in a cartoon world was able to kind of make me look past the kind of like, oh, this effect looks kind of cheap by today's standards. Like I didn't really get bothered by it a whole lot, even though on paper, yeah, it is a lot more unrealistic looking.
No, it's great. When Bugs Bunny hands him a spare tire while he's falling through the sky, it's a great bit. That's a great bit, and it's an even better bit because Bob Hoskins is like, I'm gonna die. He could legitimately die because Bugs Bunny handed him a spare fucking tire.
I think it's really cool to watch because there are a lot of movies like this now, especially with like the advent of CGI. What's it called? Like the Sonic the Hedgehog movie or Alvin and the Chipmunks, where there's just 3D models in our real world with like realistic lighting or whatever applied to them. Like, it's not new anymore. We do it all the time. And even movies like the new Tom and Jerry movie that came out a few years ago where they're 2D. Nothing is nearly as impressive as this was because it's, cartoon. Like the 3D animation that they could do, the CGI that they could do at this point would have been like 12 polygons. It would have looked terrible. It would have looked like Tron. And it's just so much more impressive that, it's like hand drawn. And they did all of this on top of real footage and we're like really meticulous for it instead of just, I don't know, we'll just pay a, special effects company like a few $1 million to handle it all later.
No, you can feel the love in this. You can feel the love and effort, like the time and energy. Like the fact that, like Mason was saying, the fact that you can't, watching it like critically, you can't tell where they switched out the cartoon cigar for the real one. That takes time and forethought and effort on behalf of like a director, an editor, an animator, a fucking prop mat. Like, there's so many people that have to put in so much effort and love to make 3 seconds of film.
Some of the extra reactions, like whenever characters spill out onto the street from a building and like they move out of the way, like all of them are sold really well.
It's great. It also is it's also a fucking period piece, which adds another level of complexity.
I was gonna say, I don't want to get too far before I like mention the few notes I had at the beginning of like how to date it super easily. The 3 are the incredulity at the amount of $100, a bunny and a baby, like a TV show about a baby and a bunny. Oh, they're so cute. Like, what are their names? Roger and Herman.
The baby's name is Herman.
Not adorable names. And then the best one, in my opinion, is the detective Valiant when he goes on the what are the streetcars, like a trolley? What are they called?
The red car, the streetcar, yeah.
And there's all those
there's all those kids,
11-year-olds smoking cigarettes.
Yes, there's kids in flat caps. It's one of my notes is that he's like, "Can I bum a cigarette?" And it's like from a 10-year-old.
They leave him with like 3 cigarettes, and he's like, "Thanks, kids."
The other line that lets you know that this is in the 1940s is when Valiant is on that trolley car, and the kid goes, What the hell, mister? You don't have a car?" And Valiant's like, "Why would I need a car? I live in Los Angeles." Then you know you're in the fucking past.
I think he says, like, we have the best public transportation in the world.
He does. That's his quote. He says we have the best public transportation in the world. Hey, just so everyone knows, Robert Zemeckis...
That's an absolute lie.
That's a lie. That's a lie. And Robert Zemeckis... It was a lie in the 80s, and Robert Zemeckis is doing a bit. And I appreciate the bit. And I got to rant about it later. In Carter's Theme Corner, there's going to be an LA rant.
There's a great bit.
What's the great bit, Mason?
I don't know. We'll talk about it. I'm sure you're going to bring it up.
What? Well, you brought it up. What's the bit, man?
A construction plan of epic proportions.
Dude, that whole speech
about?
That whole speech by Christopher Lloyd is so fucking funny. It's so great. Funny. It's such a good speech. I wish I wrote down the whole thing. Oh man. Should I get into it? Should I just get into Carter's Theme Corner and get it the fuck over with?
Yeah, why the fuck not?
Let's do it. All right. You got something else to say, Mason?
2 things.
Okay, go.
The weasels.
They're so good, and they're from Mr. Toad.
Their mispronunciations of things is so good. Don't worry, Judge. We got deformants all over the city. I wrote down like all of them. But then the other one, I just kind of had a thought, like when they showcased the dip, if you swap that scene to like a human, you're witnessing an atrocity.
It's horrifying, and you can tell all the tunes are even Bob Hoskins, who at that point in the movie hates tunes, is horrified. Because he also tries it out.
That's over the line, guy.
He tries it out on like an innocent little shoe. Like that's screaming and whimpering for its life. It's so horrific. It's funny because he goes, "It's a mixture of paint thinner and da-da-da. It's the dip." And then he puts on this comic glove, like the glove snap bit. And then he dips the thing in and you're like, holy shit. What the fuck, man? And then all the weasels who are toons are giggling about it like psychos. It's a fucked up scene.
And then I missed this note. The only like error that I noticed when looking at this movie critically. Do you remember when the judge is finally in the bar and he's tracked Roger down and he has Roger by the throat and Valiant is like, let's give him a final drink before he is executed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then it's also funny, Roger just being like, no, I don't want it.
Yes.
But then he tosses it back. And when he tosses it back, they didn't really have a solution to that. So you see the whiskey just fly through the air. You just see all of the liquid soar through the air behind him.
That's pretty funny, though. That's a good bit.
Uh-huh.
One more bit that's very funny. Patty cake being sex is so funny in this. because they actually play patty cake. When they show
why
the pictures
it is funny, is because they cut and they actually were just playing patty cake.
And they keep they hold on those pictures like doing the stop motion for like way too long. And it's so funny.
It's just actually Jessica Rabbit playing patty cake. Okay, Carter's theme corner. And then we're going to talk about Jessica Rabbit because it's also kind of themey. Here's the deal. Tighten your belts, snowflakes. And by snowflakes, I mean conservatives. Every city in America could have European-style public transit, and we did, and we had the infrastructure for it, and it was all looking great. And then car companies fucked us over, and they paid for the highways, and they paid for the freeways, and now I can't get from the city I live in to the city I live in without a 3-hour drive through traffic. That's real. We used to have trolley cars. The traffic used to not be bad. Used to be fine. We could have just kept improving on a system and infrastructure we already had, but fucking Ford and General Motors lobbied the government to fuck us over because they don't care about you. And also, this is not about that, but if you drive a Ford truck or if you drive a pickup truck, a lifted, like double-wide pickup truck, and you live in LA and you are not a groundskeeper or a landscaper, fuck you. This is real? Fuck you. Don't listen? I don't like you.
That should be your work truck.
That's a work truck.
For work.
Why do you live in LA and have a truck? Where do you park, bro? Where do you actually fucking park? This is real. This is my real actual thoughts. Where do you park? Like, it seems like an inconvenience to you and it's an inconvenience to me. Why are you fucking with why are we fucking with each other?
I cannot stand big trucks. It
Why?
Pisses me off to no end. They're huge. They're expensive. They take up so much gas, which is also expensive. Like, I don't see the point in owning one except that you want to seem cool on the road. And then you're just a giant fucking battering ram that just like mows over children.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And now they're just making every car huge because, well, I need to be safe to protect myself from all these other huge cars. Hey, listen, how about we just stop making huge cars?
What if we shrink the cars down? What if we shrink the cars down?
It's like the whole fucking like your freedom to swing your fist ends at my face. Like, I think we're at that point now where your freedom to get a huge car ends at killing people and just being a fucking menace to society, you know?
Also, last car rant, this isn't about Who Framed Roger Rabbit. LED low beams should be illegal. And if you disagree, fuck you. And I hate you. LED low beams should be illegal. Go ahead, Mason. Yes, Mason.
I was going to say, can I jump in before I forget this shit? I've always had a weird, respect for people not in other countries. Other countries I understand, like in Europe, it makes sense. But people who still use trains in the U.S. as a method of transportation in the 21st century, I've always had a weird respect for that, you know?
Yeah.
Just sitting for maybe days on a train, just watching the countryside roll by. There's something peaceful about that.
If there was only trains.
I took a train to San Diego recently. One, our infrastructure is so fucked that the train to San Diego took 4 hours.
That's crazy.
Because the train to San Diego is also the in-city train that stops in downtown and has multiple stops downtown, LA.
From LA to San Diego?
LA to San Diego, because I was going to watch a football game. Because it stops.
It's not a terrible traffic day. What's the drive?
2.5 to 3 hours. The train took longer.
I don't know. I kind of understand that though.
No,
we don't have bullet trains.
Look, no, that's what I'm saying.
They chug along at a decent pace, but
I took the train because I would rather take the extra hour than drive with these people who drive in Southern California. That's real.
Risk the dice roll of getting traffic.
Yes, I took the train. What I'm saying is, this is part of my rant. It could be better. And it was better if we just done what we were doing instead of listening to Ford and his tiny dick. We would have cool shit. And this brings me to the theme of this movie, which is that the villain's main plan is the infrastructure plan that America went with. The cartoon villain in this movie, who was defeated by the cartoons, won in real life. All the things he says about how beautiful it'll be to have strip malls and billboards and just concrete and pavement, all that's a bit. That's what LA is. And that's what LA to San Diego and LA to Vegas is. It's concrete and strip malls.
It's concrete jungle, bro.
No, it's not a jungle. It's bullshit. It all looks the same. I live in a city of freeway entrances. I can't throw a rock without hitting a freeway entrance in this fucking city. And everybody's like, why is the traffic so bad? Why is just add more lanes? Fuck you, man. Give me a fucking light rail system and some trains. I fucking hate it here.
Just ride the river through the concrete jungle, bro.
I can't. I'm getting too heated. Listen to me. This is for the listeners. Trains are good. They decrease fucking emissions. They decrease traffic. They make working and living more accessible. They make more.
They decrease like road deaths.
Yeah, they decrease road deaths. And if you have all those, this is my other thing. Do you know why? Do you know the main reason they didn't add a light rail system in LA?
There's also a niche community of people who just love trains.
Yes.
Like, you would crush their souls if you got rid of trains.
And you could make them happy. Do you guys want to know the real reason? Like, one of the main arguing points that these lobbyists put out in their ads about why the LA light rail doesn't go east to west?
What is it?
This is real. They told rich people in like the Pacific Palisades, they told people in like the Pacific Palisades that people from poorer neighborhoods would take the light rail and steal shit. They would rob homes by taking the light rail.
It would have been the Wild West.
Well, here's a few things.
Train robberies would have been rampant.
Here's a few things and why that is so fucking funny. One, if they really wanted to steal from you, they could just drive there.
They live in LA. They probably have a car.
They probably have a fucking car. Or they know someone who has a car and they can go, hey, you want to go B&E in fucking Pacific Palisades? They'll just go do it. Two, I love the visual of a guy who stole like a fucking TV, taking the light rail from the Pacific Palisades like all the way to East Los. Is so fucking funny to me. Like, he's just carrying a TV and here's the thing about light rails in every other country, there are cops who come on every few stops to check your tickets. So I love the idea of the ticket cops coming on and being like, why do you have that TV with all the plugs in it? And the guy going, oh, well, I just bought it. And the cops being like, I don't think you did.
It looks like you stole that. Why are you wearing all black?
Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, that would be... I know I'm saying it would take less time to do shit. It would, but light rail rides, if you're going from, like, one end of the city to another end of the city, it takes a long fucking time. You stop at every stop. Here's my note to rich people. Oh, also, and to conservatives, because it's not just rich people. It's all snowflakes who get scared because someone might steal your TV. No one cares about your TV or stealing from you. Actually, the way to decrease people stealing from you is to make people's lives better so that they don't have to steal things. They can just buy them themselves. And if you have the mindset of, well, I don't want to make their lives better because what if that makes my life comparatively worse? Fuck you. I hope you die. Anyway, that's my rant for the day.
Otherwise, we've got John Marston walking train car to train car, running your pockets and taking your valuables.
True.
And Carter's got to tell his parents when they come into town, hey, don't take the trains, by the way. You're going to get robbed.
Hey,
like it's the 1800s.
Hey, don't take the trains. I hear that gang. What do they call the gang in Red Dead? I hear the Vanderlyn gang is making its appearance in Los Angeles. They're going to rob the train.
Carter's like, you guys, you know what we got to do. Regulators.
Line
up.
The regulators led by Billy the Kid, famous outlaw. Anyway.
Famous outlaw Billy the Kid.
Famous outlaw Billy the Kid and his regulators. Anyway, also, Mama, don't wear your pearls. The fucking Vanderlyn gang's coming for the train.
Dude, Arthur's coming.
Just so you know.
Dutch is coming.
Dutch is coming. Just so everybody knows, that bit is how all conservatives sound when they cry about crime. All of you. You all sound ridiculous. And like babies. Sorry, I'm making this... Actually, I'm not making this too political. Who Framed Roger Rabbit is very political. It's actually... This is what it's saying. It's saying that the freeway system sucks. The highway system we implemented sucks. and we shouldn't let lobbyists control our country.
They hate it so much, and this was in the 80s, and it's only gotten worse.
It's only gotten exponentially worse. Also, last note, and this is about government spending. I don't know if you guys remember, there were never plane crashes when we were kids. Like there was one plane crash when we were all 1 year old, and it was so bad that they were like, now there's not going to be any plane crashes. It's so weird that since Trump and Elon fired all the people who prevent plane crashes.
I was like, what plane crash? And then I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
there's been 3 notable plane crashes in the span of a month.
In a month since they fired all the people whose job it is to make the planes not crash.
And these are all American flights.
Yep.
Like
all of them.
One of them flew out of the airport that I fly out of to go home.
Yep.
The Minneapolis airport.
I have family flying in not soonish, and I am like, is it safe to fly anymore?
Like, what the hell? Like,
is it safe to fly anymore?
This is so dumb.
It's so.
What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
What we're doing here is that they're causing fear so that they can control you, so that they can put in place their systems of control because they're fascists. But sorry, getting too political. Anyway, if you're conservative or you still ally yourself with Trump, fuck you. I hope you are in one of those planes. Is that defamation?
Well, people are scared to fly now, and people are dying on planes, and more people don't have jobs, but at least we don't have DEI, you know? That's
at least we don't have that
cancels
thing
everything out, you know?
At least we don't have that thing that was very good and is actually a corporate term that has nothing to do with the government.
We replaced this plan to establish a genuine meritocracy with absolutely nothing, and everybody hates it, and it sucks for everybody. So why don't we just keep doing that? Huh?
Abel, that's good.
Yeah, it is good.
It's really good when life gets shittier.
I like it when there's tough times that create tough men, you know?
Yeah, but we got a bunch of soft men right now.
Oh my god. Who could the soft men
Don't get
be?
me started about soft men.
That's really the plan that's going on right here. Is people are
loving pot smoking.
You know, back in my day, there were 10-year-olds smoking cigarettes on the back of the red cars.
Those were real men. Those were hard men.
Those were hard men. Those were hard men.
Now in our current society, we're going to make it so all these 10-year-olds are...
Yeah.
They're vaping that tobacco from the behind the wheel of their Cybertruck that they all drive in a nice little caravan, 4 giant battering rams of vehicles.
Here's my favorite thing. Soft men drive Cybertrucks, but the guy who invented them should be in charge of the country.
Hard men drive lifted trucks.
Hard men drive lifted trucks. Men who are hard at 2 inches drive lifted trucks. What?
They also don't smoke tobacco. They put it in their lip. So let's get it straight, guys.
They put it in their lip. Also, I would never body shame. This is real. I don't believe in body shaming. I think it's really fucked up. I think you should love yourself for who you are, unless you're a conservative who drives a fucking lifted truck. And then I think you should be really self-conscious about the fact that you have a tiny dick. Sorry, too much? Was that too much?
Oh, no, it was funny. I forgot to bring up when you guys talked about the trucks earlier. I think there's... I don't have a burning hatred for big trucks.
You don't drive yet, them. Mason. You don't have enough experience.
No, but I'm saying I don't. No. But I was gonna let me finish, motherfucker. Okay. I think there's 2 types of trucks.
Yeah.
There's one that's the bottom is caked in mud, and I think the other is well maintained, constantly kept sparkling clean, and takes up 1.5 city street lanes. And that's the one that I think most people have an issue with.
Yeah. No, the one's caked in mud. This is also the difference. The small trucks that aren't lifted and aren't double wide usually have a bunch of tools and shit in the back and are filthy. People work in LA with trucks. I got no problem with that. When you have a Ford F450 and you've got the 2 wheels in the back and you're lifted, fuck you. That's the difference.
You're just conservative and you're cosplaying as rural.
Yes.
You're just driving your kids to school and driving yourself to work. And the most that you'll fit in there is like 2 children and like 3 bags of groceries.
Yep.
You're not hauling lumber. You're driving to your 9 to 5 at the insurance firm. So let's get a more sensible vehicle.
Join Toyota Corolla gang. We'll love to have you.
Buy a Honda. Hondas never die.
Dave's Toyota down the street, I heard, is great.
Turns out Mason's a dealer at Dave's Toyota. I'm kidding. Mason's not a car dealer. I wouldn't be friends with him if he was a car dealer.
If you're looking for a reasonably priced Camry, come on down to Dave's Toyota.
Toyota of Dave.
Ask for Mason. I'll personally help you. No, it's random, but I also wrote down, I loved this note. This is a PG movie for tobacco use, but I watched a man get shot and killed. This movie.
This the one we're reviewing.
They were like, yeah, cigarettes is a little much, but like
everything else.
Watching a man get shot and killed, that's...
Shot and killed, fine. Jessica Rabbit's whole rack being in your face, fine.
Making fucking balloon noises like every time she moves.
Every time she moves.
Oh, yeah.
That was like...
This is America.
Now we're going to go into Abel's theme corner. I want to talk about how conflicted I feel about this movie's noir tropes, because it's very much a parody of noir movies from like, I don't know, like the 50s, 60s era. Like it takes all these tropes and puts them in a kid's movie and like makes them funny. Like it's poking fun at them, but it also like, you know, indulges in those tropes at the same time, with like Jessica Rabbit being just ridiculously proportioned, like to an insane degree of unrealism. Like the physics don't make sense of that. The metabolism doesn't make sense, man. I like the noir stuff. I think it's funny. I don't know. I feel conflicted because it's like, I don't think that there should be a bunch of like sexualized women in movies that often, especially kids movies, but it's also like part of the noir movie tropes that this movie is setting out to do. So I don't, like, I can kind of give it a pass, but like, I also want to think critically about it, you know?
That's wonderful, Abel. I'm going to give it a pass.
I did not grow up watching this movie.
I'm going to give it a pass because I did grow up watching this movie, and Jessica Rabbit made me feel funny in my pants.
Yeah, she made you piss yourself.
Yeah. Yes. When I was like 7, I was like, ooh, lady. And then I pissed in my pants. I was like, oh my God. And piss is not a metaphor, by the way. It just straight up piss. Urine, man. Straight up. But no, being a boy is watching this movie and being like, Jessica Rabbit's the hottest girl in this movie. Being a man is being like, whoever the love interest for Bob Hoskins is the hottest woman in this movie. That's what being a man is.
Whoa.
You cut out and then all of a sudden you come back after like 30 seconds and I just hear Bob Hoskins is the hottest woman in this movie.
So that's all we heard.
That's awesome. That is not what I said. That's so fucking funny. No, I said being a boy is thinking that watching this movie and thinking Jessica Rabbit is the hottest person in this movie. Being a man is watching this movie and thinking that Bob Hoskins' love interest is the hottest person in this movie.
Yeah, no, all I heard was Bob Hoskins is the hottest woman in this movie.
Well, he is. Did you see his fucking dance at the end, bro? That's fucking sexy.
That guy's British.
Bobby Hosk?
That's so weird. Yeah.
No way, bro. No way.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe you. Mario?
We gotta watch that at some point. I've never seen it, but I've seen some shit from it.
I shouldn't have said anything. I'm Googling Bob Hoskins British ?
Well, just go to his Wikipedia and it says he's an English actor.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
I didn't know British people were allowed to be named Bob. Who said that was allowed?
They're allowed to be named Robert.
Oh, yeah.
I spaced out for a minute because I was just angrily fighting in my head with people who say Mario instead of Mario.
How many people do you know who say that?
It's a lot of East Coast people more.
Yeah, was literally going to say Italians.
Yeah, it's Italians. I didn't want to say specific. It's Italians. You know the country where the name comes from. But anyway. I grew up on Super Mario. He doesn't say, it's a me, Mario.
He doesn't. He does not. That's a good point.
This is source material I'm pulling from.
What is it? Mario and Lugigi? What the fuck are we talking about here?
White guy.
Mario and fettuccine. Come on, guys.
Mario
and linguine.
Yeah, that's better. Mario and linguine.
Please tell me you're Italian, Abel, so we can get away with these bits. Please.
I am not Italian at all.
Stop. There's no face cam, Abel. You're Italian.
Yeah, I'm not Italian. There's no face cam for you guys either.
Yeah, I'm Italian.
Why is this my responsibility to fake my heritage?
You don't have to. I'm Italian.
I'm Hungarian.
You're fucking not, Mason.
Carter, I guarantee, dude, I'm a European mutt. I guarantee there's a piece of me that's Italian.
I'm a European mutt is crazy.
It's facts.
White derivative. White derogatory.
We have the dumbest podcast.
Yeah, this is going to be a polarizing episode. Our rabid fan base is going to be split down the middle.
Yeah. All three people who listen to our podcast.
It's just our moms.
It's time for everybody's favorite quotes. What was everybody's favorite quote?
Favorite quotes?
Yeah, favorite quote, baby.
Valiant is being pressured to take the Toontown case. He doesn't want to. He doesn't like Toons. And they're like, every Joe loves Toontown. And he's like, ask Joe to do it. I like that line. One of the ones I liked was when Valiant is ordering a drink from the Penguins at the bar. And you can tell he's had this problem before.
Yes.
Because he emphasizes to the Penguin, Scotch on the rocks, and I don't mean actual rocks. So then when the glass shows up with real rocks in it, very irritated.
Well, he literally says ice afterwards. Like, he goes, I mean ice. And then he just still gives him rocks.
That penguin is working overtime for that bit, dude. He's so committed to that bit.
Yeah, it would be funny to do it, so he does it.
They're looking for Roger, and they ask Valiant where he could be. He goes, have you tried Walla Walla? Cucamonga? I hear Kokomo's very nice this time of year. I liked the Walla Walla shout out.
Walla Walla,
yeah, why
shout
do
out
they
Washington.
Talk about Walla Walla.
Because it's an alliterative, funny name for a town.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's so silly.
It's fun to say.
They're just saying
like Cucamonga.
Random towns.
It's like
Walla Walla's
Cucamonga
a great
or
place.
Kokomo.
Kokomo is funny. It's funny.
Shout out the Beach Boys.
It's fun to say Kokomo.
It's very fun to sing it.
Sing it, Mason.
Take you down. I'm not going to take you down to Kokomo right now, Carter. I can't. I can't.
Good. You're a fucking liar, bro. Bro goes, it's fun to sing it. And then I go, sing it. And he says, no. Fucking coward shit.
I can't sweep you off your feet to Kokomo.
Well, you could try.
Don't make me. Okay, and my last note before we get to favorite quotes was there's a couple instances of cops behaving in unsavory ways. Primarily, the judge grabs an amputee's sleeve to wipe a chalkboard. That's pretty atrocious.
That was crazy. That dude lost his arm in the war, probably.
I specifically said that's wild. In my notes, I said that's wild.
That's wild.
But yes, what were you guys' favorite quotes from this movie?
There's a quote in part of Christopher Lloyd's speech where he's talking about the highway and he says traffic jams will be a thing of the past.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's it.
Nationwide,
baby.
My bad.
I don't have a favorite quote. I really like the one where he's, is there a rabbit in your pants or are you just happy to see me? That's a good one. I'll go with that one.
That's a great line.
My favorite quote. A construction plan of epic proportions. They're calling it a freeway. 8 lanes of shimmering cement running from here to Pasadena. Smooth, safe, fast. Traffic jams will be a thing of the past. You lack vision. I see a place where people get on and off the freeway. On and off and on. All day, all night. Soon, where Toontown once stood will be a string of gas stations, inexpensive motels, restaurants that serve rapidly prepared food, tire salons, automobile dealerships, and wonderful, wonderful billboards reaching as far as the eye can see. My God, it'll be beautiful.
Oh my God, Mason, you just reminded me. I fucked up my theme corner. That's a great line. That is a great monologue. But I fucked up my theme corner. I didn't even get to the best part of the... Okay, here's the deal. And this is why the freeway is also so atrocious. The plot of this movie is that this judge wants the deed to Toontown so that he can tear down Toontown. He's literally going to kill all the Toons with the dip. He's like invented a spray gun for the dip. And he's going to kill all the Toons, and that's where he's going to build his freeway. That sounds like an evil villain plan. That's what actually fucking happened in LA. That's what happened with the freeways, and that's what happened with Dodger Stadium. There were people living there, and they got kicked out of their homes, and they got little to no compensation, and they got fucked over so that they could build 8 lanes of fucking pavement and Dodger Stadium when there was already a baseball stadium in the fucking city. So, and, just a little tip, the reason why people of color and minority groups are often like, hey, we've had it pretty fucking rough in this country, is because guess which neighborhoods they decided to do that to build their fucking freeway in Dodger Stadium. They did it to Hispanic neighborhoods, and they did it to black neighborhoods. So, that's my theme. That's the theme. The Toons are a minority group, and the judge is trying to fuck them over. And in this movie, the good guys won. In real life, the good guys lost. So, next time you go to a fucking game at Dodger Stadium, remember that you are sitting on the bones of people's lives and livelihoods and homes. This is a fun show.
Benny the talking cab, he mentioned the Dodgers.
He does mention the Dodgers.
So how about those Brooklyn Dodgers? Are they bums or what?
They were bums at this time, I'm pretty sure. They weren't good yet. And they weren't in LA yet, which is also part of the joke. LA didn't have a major league team. They had the Stars, the Hollywood Stars.
They didn't have any major league team at that time?
No, it was really different. Baseball was a lot different. It wasn't what we know now where it was the MLB and there was the NL and the AL. There was the Pacific League. There was the NL. There was the AL. There were a bunch of different smaller leagues. And the big leagues were all in the East. The bigger, richer teams were all in the East. But the Pacific League, which is now part of our minor league system, had the Hollywood Stars. And their stadium was in West Hollywood, where the original farmers market is now.
Oh.
Little LA trivia for you guys. Little thing you should know about your city. You did? That's where I grew up.
I know. Oh. I remember.
More of a cricket guy.
Shut the fuck. Nobody is a cricket guy. Cricket sucks, dude.
Wickets, ballers, batsmen. I'm all about it.
Are they really called wickets? Like from Star Wars?
No, the sticks that they have to hit.
Are they really good?
Wait, hold on. Now I'm trying to think of what Abel's referring to in Star Wars.
He's referring to the Ewok. His name is Wicket.
Oh, there's an Ewok named Wicket. Okay.
Yeah, it's the main Ewok, dude.
The main Ewok.
He's got like a little red or orange hat.
The orange hat in Return of the Jedi.
Okay. Is this canon?
Yeah.
Yes, it's his name is Wicket. You didn't play Lego. You didn't play Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, bro?
Hey, what are some more cricket terms? What's the terminologies? So that sounds like it's like from Quidditch or something, like some dumb made up wizard shit.
Some dumb British shit. Some dumb shit that British people name.
I've never even watched cricket for a second.
It's so fucking boring, dude. It's
great.
Boring.
It takes days.
It's so boring.
It takes days?
Sometimes.
It's everything that's like horrid about baseball. And I love baseball. It is all the things that would make you go, I don't know if baseball's a sport for me. And it's just those things, and they're all cranked to 11.
Is there a Shohei Ohtani at-bat countdown thing in the corner? Yeah. That's awesome. Do you think he would be good at playing cricket if he tried?
I'd be cracked.
Who's name?
Oh, yeah, Sachin Tendulkar.
Is that the main cricket guy?
he's the goat. He's one of the goats of cricket, but he's also the guy who they bring up in. Remember when we watched Slumdog Millionaire and they asked about that famous cricketer and he knew the guy's name? That was Sachin Tendulkar.
Okay.
So he was actually like famous, goated. That was basically like asking the question, like, Michael Jordan.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, I know Michael Jordan.
I clearly don't know Michael Jordan.
What?
No,
because he's the Michael Jordan of cricket.
Nobody knows the Michael Jordan of cricket.
Go check out the documentary on Netflix, dude. The India-Pakistan rivalry in cricket's pretty insane, dude.
Yeah, it sounds like an insane rivalry.
It's an insane rivalry.
Sounds like
India was putting out like the top tier batsmen in cricket, and Pakistan was like, we'll just put out the top tier ballers, so like the pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a showdown of epic proportions.
What would you guys rate this movie? That's my rule now, is that I can only say, what would you guys rate this movie if I think it would be a funny time to say.
I've grown to realize I have a preliminary rating and then a rating post after hearing what you guys gave the movie. So I'm going to let you guys go first.
No. You just admitted it. You got to go first now every time.
Yeah, give your rating.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Okay.
I think it still held up from the times that I enjoyed it during my childhood. I think it's a fun blend of characters and Looney Tunes, as we went over in Back in Action. It's a fun premise. I think it's executed a lot better in this case. I think the noir tropes and the fact that it's like actually a fun mystery that you get to see unravel throughout the course of the movie is also fun. There's, some things that don't hold up from the 80s, obviously. So the movie gets docked a little bit, but it's definitely got the nostalgia factor that keeps it high for me.
I think I'll give it an 8. There's no nostalgia factor for me, but there were a lot of really funny moments and a lot of really impressive special effects, animated, live action, hybrid, like blending moments that really stood out to me. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And also, before fan service was something that audiences were drowning in, they could have cute little moments like that little Mickey and Bugs Bunny falling off the building moment, which was a lot of fun, especially because it came towards the end of the third act, which is just like kind of perfect timing for that. I think it's good. Give it an 8.
I'm gonna also give it a 9. This is a great movie. This is a great fucking movie. It's got a really good message, really good theme, which you guys know I'm a slut for. But really good message, really good theme, really good actors. The effects are amazing. The execution's amazing. It's just an amazing movie that they have tried to replicate so many times, and they just can't do it.
Yeah.
So there's only one segment left in this show.
What have we been watching?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Carter, what are you doing?
This week I did a couple things.
Oh, okay.
I watched all of Abbott Elementary.
Really? How many seasons of that?
Well, there's only 3 on Max, I think. So, really not that many. I watched that while I played Marvel Rivals. Very good show, very funny show. I also, because the new Captain America came out, and I really wanted it to be good, but all the reviews came out and said it wasn't that great, I didn't go see it because I don't want to be spending money and time on something that is not going to be that great.
Yeah, fair.
So I watched the other 2 Captain America movies this week because they're very good.
There's actually 3 of them, but
okay, so one is an Avengers 2.5, sir.
I like that one a lot.
It might be a nostalgia factor, but First Avenger will always be like one of my faves.
First Avenger's great. Winter Soldier has always been my favorite MCU movie. It's one of my favorite movies in general. It's a great movie.
Civil War is like my favorite. I'm so bored, or like I'm sick today and I'm not doing anything. I'm going to put on Civil War and just have a good time.
That's Winter Soldier for me.
Yeah, Winter Soldier's also good. I haven't really been watching movies, of course. I'm still watching Severance, which is still really, really good. I've been watching this new show on HBO called Common Side Effects. Have you guys heard of it?
That new animated show?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's from produced by Mike Judge he's done a bunch of stuff like Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill, Silicon Valley, and then Greg Daniels is also a producer who I believe did The Office and Parks and Rec. it's kind of funny, but it's also like very story driven about this guy who finds this mushroom that can cure every ailment and like revive people, basically. It's his journey to try to bring it to like the world and like research it or whatever, where there's also these giant pharmaceutical companies who are hiring like hitmen and like private investigators to like go after him, basically. So it's like, it's got a lot of commentary. It's also very funny and has a lot of really interesting, like poignant moments in it about like, I don't know. I find it very emotionally touching at times. Yeah, it's got a good heart. A lot of cool stuff happens, and the animation is nice, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Yeah, I would highly recommend it if that sounds like it's up your alley.
Mason, what you been doing?
Staying caught up on the new Invincible episodes. I did go see the new Captain America.
No spoilers. I will watch it.
How was it?
I'm really liking Invincible. In all honesty, it just wasn't anything like... It just felt like a cookie cutter Marvel movie to me. Like there was nothing that stood out as like great
also,
or new.
All the things I heard was that it was a sequel to Marvel's 2 least popular fucking movies instead of a sequel to like Falcon and Winter Soldier or something. Am I crazy?
I don't know. To me, it felt like a sequel to Falcon and Winter Soldier, but it almost felt like a really long season finale. Not like a movie.
I gotcha.
I mean, that's what like all the Marvel stuff has been, I think, since Endgame, is every movie or TV show feels like an episode, except that the stories aren't connected because they're setting up too many things and then not elaborating on any of them.
Yeah, let's just continuously improve every year until we end off with a bang and then just start putting out garbage after that.
Shang-Chi was fun.
There's good stuff. Like it's not all bad, but there was like No Way Home, which was cool, but it was like all fan service.
There's also 2 minor things I think that like have nothing to do with the movie, but just kind of like the package of how it's put out that made it also feel like not really Marvel anymore. This is the first Marvel movie apparently without that like the flashing through the comic strip intro.
Oh, what?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that
why this
sucked.
one?
I don't know. But to do away with that felt kind of like, all right, if you're doing like a fresh start, at least give us something like come out the gate swinging. And then the other was like, I think there was one like post credit scene. There wasn't an initial like
mid credits.
Yeah.
Whatever. Thunderbolts looks good. I'm excited for Thunderbolts. I'm excited for Superman.
Fantastic Four looks good. Thunderbolts
and Fantastic Four looks good.
I think Thunderbolts looks like it could be anywhere from astonishingly mid to pretty solid fun. It could be anything. I really don't know. Fantastic Four, I don't think will suck. I think it'll be okay at worst. You know? Mm-hmm. Whereas like this Captain America movie, like I was like cautiously optimistic, but like in the back of my head, I was like, this could just be ass. This could be totally ass. And now it sounds like it probably is. I don't want to like cement my opinion on it like before I even fucking watch it, you know, but I've thought a lot of Marvel movies were pretty middle of the road recently. Maybe it's the opposite for me. Maybe I love this movie.
On the plus side, with lowered expectations now going into these, we're either met in our expectations or we're surprised. We got 3 shout outs this week. Shout out your mom's banana bread, first and foremost.
What?
Yeah, your mom's banana bread.
What are you talking about, bro?
I'm saying shout out your mom's banana bread.
My mom's banana bread?
I'm saying everyone's, our collective moms. Banana bread made by mothers is superior.
It sounded like you were talking about Carter's mom in particular.
My bad.
So I know that you're not talking about my mom.
The collective, our mothers.
The collective mother.
The collective mother's banana.
The collective earth mother's banana bread. Second shout out. Shout out 32 degrees. Freezing point of water. What would we do without it?
What is the banana bread
Just wait,
of Mother Earth.
Let him bring it together. Let him bring the shout-outs together, Abel. He's
clearly final shout out Loki, shout out Tricksters. That's all I have for you this week.
What the fuck is... Did you have a bet? What the fuck was that?
No, they came to me while I was working today, and I thought I'd write them down.
Shout out Trickster Gods and Banana Bread.
Your mom's Banana Bread, 32 degrees, and Loki.
32 degrees?
Yeah,
I wish it was 32 degrees, bro.
Abel's on
Without
the east.
Without that, I would have no snow.
I am not on the east. I am in the Midwest.
Abel's in the Midwest. We weren't supposed to tell our listeners that it kind of fucks up the name of our show.
I know. I don't want to hear it. Okay. I woke up yesterday morning with wind chill.
Strangest dream.
It was negative 27 degrees. That is cold.
That's very cold.
When I go outside and it's 15 degrees now, I'm like, damn, I can actually like go on a walk maybe. Like I can actually do something. This sucks, dude. It's so cold. I mean, like I'm fine. My apartment's warm, but
do you know what it was today here in LA?
Probably like
without
65.
any mountains to block anything, you're getting hit with a gust of wind coming from Alberta.
Yeah. Fucking flatland motherfuckers. Abel, what are you making us watch next week?
I am making us watch next week Daredevil from 2003 starring Ben Affleck.
Oh, yeah. No, I forgot. I'm actually hyped for this one.
Fuck.
I've seen this movie twice before. I watched it once like a couple years ago, and then I tried to watch it with my roommate as like a bad superhero drinking game movie because we did that with X-Men Origins, and it was a lot of fun. And then we watched this one, and it was just really boring.
I'm so
but
excited.
there are a couple really funny highlights. I don't want to say too much, but the soundtrack is something else.
It's Vanilla Ice, right? Or was that the Ninja Turtles movie? Who does the soundtrack?
That was Ninja Turtles. This is edgy. This movie's got some edge to it that Ninja Turtles couldn't compare to.
Is it Nickelback? Is it?
You'll see.
All right. Hey, follow us on places, dudes. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on fucking YouTube. We're on Blue Sky. It's all Pacific Standard, guys. We really should get up on Spotify and the podcast app and all that shit. This is a secret for the listeners. You guys can't listen. This is a secret for the listeners. You ready? Don't listen. I'm not going to fucking watch this movie. What I'm going to do instead is watch season 1 of the Daredevil Netflix show. I'm going to watch season 1 of the Daredevil Netflix show, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to review. I'm going to do my review as if I were doing the movie, but it's actually going to be about the Netflix show. So be prepared, everybody. Be prepared.
So not only are you showing them what a dishonest man you are, but you also just gave them like the worst ASMR they've ever heard.
That was pretty good. What else do they do on ASMR? They do a lot of like
ASMR YouTubers don't lie to their friends, Carter. Okay.
I didn't lie. You guys weren't supposed to listen. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm so excited to watch the Daredevil movie.
You only know that I lied because you didn't listen to me making a joke. Okay. That's bullshit, dude.
I'll probably watch it. I'll probably
you gotta watch the director's cut now. It's like 20 minutes longer.
No.
All right, yeah. Follow us on stuff. Listen, tune in next week, Daredevil. Take care, everybody.
Which you guys know I'm a slut for.